Hello my fellow chairs and welcome back to EU4 Mission Tree Only, the series where we look at a nation's mission tree in its entirety without expanding outside of that mission tree. We are going to be looking at the nation of Bohemia. So as soon as you start the game as Bohemia, you get the aftermath of the Hussite Wars, basically just giving you a prelude to the situation within our country of Bohemia. We shall rise from the ashes. Now the entire reason as to why we are all here, the Bohemian Mission Tree. So it is a dynamic mission tree. So yes, pretty much you could go either Catholic or Hussite, depending on which one you want to do. Obviously, we're going to be going for the Hussite branching missions. So once I actually unlock that, I could click on this button right here. As you guys can see, they actually have quite an extensive mission tree. A lot of it has to do with actually developing up your lands, at least initially becoming the emperor of the HRE, and of course, going ahead and beating up on all of your neighbors, such as Poland, even Hungary, and even pushing back against the Ottomans into the Balkans. We could also form a very unique nation. It's just a name change, but it's the Bohemian Commonwealth. And if I remember correctly, there is actually a mission that allows us to form Great Moravia, which is a fantastic formable nation with some of the best ideas in the game. But we'll get there once we get there. And here is the achievement that we are going to be going for. I'm going to try and pronounce this. All my Czech followers, please, if it's really bad, just let me know. Veritas Vincit. Starting as Bohemia, make Hussite the official faith of the empire and become the emperor. So of course, I'm going to show you guys exactly how to do that achievement as well. And when you look at it, I actually found the Restore Great Moravia thing. So we actually have to complete the mission, Reforge Great Moravia, which is this mission right here. Now we could go ahead and actually form Great Moravia. So we have the first couple missions that we have to complete here. We have Consolidate Silesia. Essentially, we have to make Glogau and Opel over here like us by at least 200. And they have to have less than one Liberty Desire. Or we just simply integrate both of them and have no autonomy over here. And if we go ahead and do this while they're both our subjects, we actually get to integrate them into one subject, which is Silesia. They will become an incorporated vassal, which is 25% cheaper to annex. Otherwise, we get one base tax in the entire area and 10 years of separatism. I'm going to go with that top option. On top of that, we also get permanent claims on Poland. Additionally, we also have to humiliate Austria. So we have to either recently humiliate them, or I'm a great power and Austria is not a great power. Then we get permanent claims on Inner Austria and Austria proper. In addition to those permanent claims, along with prestige, diplomatic reputation, and 100 diplo points, if we do this while humiliating Austria, we get 25 prestige. Next mission that we have is the Hungarian Secession. Have an army equal or larger than Hungary, 18,000 troops. We're currently at 17,000, so that's pretty close. We need to have had the event Return of the Hussites, which of course we will talk about when that arrives. And Hungary has had the Matthias Corvinus event, or the year is at least 1457. Then we get permanent claims on Hungary, or if they're independent, we get a personal union CB on these guys. Next mission that we can go ahead and pursue at the start here is Lion of the Empire. We need to have an army equal to or larger than 25,000, 40 prestige, and make sure that we have the most development and the largest army in the HRE. And then we actually get subjugation CBs on both Saxony and on Brandenburg for the next 30 years with less AE. Otherwise, if neither Saxony nor Brandenburg exist, we actually get permanent claims on the Middle Mark and Saxony areas. So looking at our rivals, we can rival Denmark, Hungary, and I'll do Lithuania. Well, I guess I should have done Austria. Oh, we'll come back to that. That's my bad. That's a bit of a misplay on my part. In the meantime, I will go ahead and start improving relations with both of my subjects over here. pretty much we're just going to kind of sit and chill. Next, we're going to get this event right here, the Compacts of Basel. We're going to go ahead and honor the compacts, which leads us towards peaceful reconciliation with the Hussites or a resurgent movement. So this is going to give us tolerance of heretics for about the next 10 years. And there we go. You know what? Lithuania got personal union by Poland, and that problem has been solved. And in fact, I'm thinking we will actually temporarily ally Poland here, because I'm going to use them to pursue my claims on Hungary over here later on. But in the meantime, we will go ahead and rival Austria, and I'm going to begin currying favors with Poland, so that way they can help me out in a war against Austria, who is actually allied to Burgundy. They're not friends with Hungary, but they are friends with Burgundy. Now, the thing with Bohemia, eventually we're going to get an elective monarchy. In fact, I think we have the unique government. Yes, Bohemian elective monarchy. So whenever our ruler dies, we actually get to choose who is going to be the next ruler of our nation. So that, of course, gives us diplomatic reputation, nobility, loyalty, influence, and privileges for them. And we're more than likely going to be opening up with religious ideas when we actually get to that part. And speaking of ideas, Bohemian ideas are great for playing in the HRE and actually becoming the emperor. So if you decide that you don't want to go down the Hussite path, which in my opinion is the stronger path, because Hussite, much like Protestant, gets 3 unique bonuses along with additional modifiers for just simply being Hussite. But Bohemian ideas give you advisor cost, imperial authority growth modifier, which is great when you're the emperor. Land leader fire +1, so it's maybe worth it to go ahead and take offensive ideas. Talents of heretics, legitimacy, infantry combat ability +10% and -5% shock damage received. National unrest, technology cost, stability cost modifier, and cost of advisors with ruler's culture, which we are Czech, which is obviously that's the majority of our country, but in terms of everywhere else, it's a very small portion of the world. And here we go. Election of a new ruler, so we can either just keep the guy that apparently ascended to the throne, this 330 Jagiellon, who's 19 years old, to somebody who is a Hunyadi, so a Hungarian throne, or crown one from our nobility at 432. I'm thinking we're going to crown one from our nobility. Again, I think we're going to get another guy a little bit later on as well. And look at that. I already made a misplay because Peter over here is embarrassing our court and making us lose stability. Screw you, Peter. So it's been about 4 years. Most of the devastation within our country is completely gone, with the exception of Cheb, which is the gold mine, of course. So I went ahead and did encourage development here, and I'm going to go ahead and start deving this up, which will lower the devastation. Of course, devastation also increases the cost of developing here by 3% with 16% devastation. But we're going to go ahead and bump this up a couple of times, and now we're going to go ahead and get recover from the Hussite wars. I have 1 stability, none of my provinces are devastated, and now we could get rid of Hussite destruction. And now instead we get national unrest and yearly tax income for 25 years. So not too bad, we're all of a sudden making a good amount of money. I finally got both of my subjects opinion of me up to 200. They have no liberty desire whatsoever. I now get permanent claims on my ally Poland, which we're not going to pursue just yet. But this will go ahead and merge both of those subjects into a larger nation of Silesia. We can also go ahead and complete Polish diplomacy, which is have an army equal to or larger than Poland's, have more prestige of Poland, or own at least 5 provinces in the Poland area. I have more prestige than Poland. I have 23. They have 2. Doing this, we will actually get a restoration of Union CB on Poland for the next 25 years, along with additional diplo annexation costs and governing capacity for the end of the game. I'm not going to go ahead and complete this just yet. As I mentioned, we are going to use them against Austria, which I can actually use them right now. Gosh dang it, Peter. Stop embarrassing my court. Oh, finally. So it's been about 7 years now. We get Return of the Hussites. We could go with this one. Peter will die, and we get a new guy who's a 543 as our ruler, and Hussite becomes the state religion of Bohemia. Goodbye, Peter. Even our heir is gone. But that solves a lot of problems right there. And now I can complete the mission and the regency. So once the event Return of the Hussites happens, boom, there we go. Have a regency council, and we have at least 75 legitimacy, and we unlock the Hussite branching missions. And much like Protestant, there's this whole church power thing over here. A lot of these are very, very good. Like this good produce, tolerance at true faith, war score cost versus other religions, culture conversion cost, yearly corruption, harsh treatment, national manpower, army tradition decay, permanent CB against neighboring heathens and heretics, tolerance of heathens and heretics, which, I mean, like I said, we're probably going to be picking up religious ideas just because I do like a lot of modifiers from religious, plus with quality a little bit later on. Just also be warned, nobody likes you anymore. You went from being able to ally literally like 90% of Europe to all of a sudden 90% of Europe really does not like you because you're a heretic religion now. I'm also going to go ahead start doing the enforced religious unity edict on all my states here that actually need, especially these three here. This one I'm not really so worried about. It's just one province, but these three definitely need it just to really knock out these conversions. Tier 2 government reform. Because we are part of the HRE, we could choose a ministralis promotion. I really like this one personally. Gives you advisor costs, monthly favor growth modifier, and ability max privileges. Alternatively, obviously there's strength and noble privileges. I also just got this really cheap level 3 advisor, Jan, over here. So we're going to go ahead and grab this guy, and he's going to help us convert everything over here actually. Oh my god. The Habsburg almost ascended the throne. Hungary reached to where he was 15 years old. They decided, you know what? No, we're gonna go with Matthias Hunyadi, and I am a-okay with that. I just need to build one more infantry guy, and we could go ahead and get right into a war against the Hungarians, force a personal union on them. And our guy isn't even that old. He's only 28 years old. And if you guys know me and my luck with rulers, oh my god, normally it's so bad. But I have a good feeling about this one. And the nice thing also is Hungary's actually been going out of their way to conquer Wallachia and also Herzegovina. So we're going to be set here. Let's go ahead, invade the Hungarians, call on our friend Poland with the Restoration of Union CB. And maybe I'll also call it... Oh, they also got Moldavia, by the way, as well. So that's also very nice. I will go ahead and also call in the Papal States, just to kind of call them in and help us out. I don't think I need Genoa. And now I could go ahead, adopt an aspect of our faith. I'm going to go ahead... Oh, I need at least 200 church power to choose this one here. We're going to go with that war score cost versus other religions. I like that one a lot, actually. And we got our very first forced conversion here. We got Ragusa now becoming Hussite. So welcome to the club, buddy. As for the Hungarians, yeah, we'll be able to force our union with them. Only needed at least 60% war score. I will be able to get 500 ducats out of this. Though the AE impact is disgusting. 97 aggressive expansion with all these countries in Europe. But there we go. We now got Croatia and Hungary. And now, because we got Hungary under our thumb, I can claim the Holy Crown, which just simply requires Hungary to own at least 12 provinces in Carpathia. And if we complete this mission while Hungary is our subject, we get transferred the ownership of Nitra decision, so we could just straight up take Slovakia away from Hungary. And Hungary loses 25 liberty desire. We also get permanent claims on Slavonia area, Croatia area, and Carpathia, the region. What I have to do now is really make these guys happy with me, because otherwise my ruler is going to die and we're going to lose our personal union on Hungary. And I really don't want to do that. And you know what? Since we're allied to Hungary, well, now that we have Hungary as a subject, and I could go ahead and call in Poland into this war, we're going to go ahead and invade Austria. Now I wish Switzerland did not get absolutely destroyed by Austria. That is very unfortunate. In fact, I'm going to unally Switzerland once I can. but we will go ahead and invade Austria in hopes of just humiliating these guys. And hopefully somebody like France gets the bright idea of invading Burgundy as well. I mean, Burgundy only has 13,000 troops. Also, this should technically boost up my relations with Hungary a little bit. Though, yeah, it literally had no change whatsoever. First idea group time, and as I mentioned, we are going to be picking up religious ideas right away. Just because, I mean, it is so good. Well, I mean, technically, I guess I don't need religious ideas. I mean, like, again, it is mission tree only and stuff. So, I mean, whatever we could take is just simply permanent claims here. But, I mean, it would be nice to take religious ideas. I mean, I'm pretty sure if you pair that up with something else that is cheaper to force conversion on some of these guys. Yeah, we're just going to do religious ideas. I mean, it's too good not to take religious ideas. Well, that's nice. So Hungary just inherited Croatia. Good for you. My goodness, this war is not necessarily brutal, but it is extremely rough. And a lot of it has to do with the fact Poland is actually pretty weak this game. Yes, they have Lithuania. Yes, they have a good amount of troops. But their mil tech is too behind everybody else's, so they're like basically useless. I'm going to go ahead and do, because I could choose my next church power here. I'm going to go with this national manpower one. That one's very nice. Oh no. Danzig, why are you doing this now, dude? This is like the worst time to be doing this thing. And there goes my boy Poland. They just white-pieced out. Darn you, Poland. They only have 2,000 troops. Yeah, that makes sense though. Oh my god, once Burgundy's out of here, maybe we could fight for like a white peace at this point. Can I get a white peace? I could actually get a white peace out of this. No money, just a white peace. I'm okay with that. Let's head home, boys. That was very, very brutal, and I'm sorry everybody was forced through that for no reason, but sometimes it's what you gotta do in order to beat up Austria, I guess. But man, that was rough. You know what? I'm thinking Poland did serve their purpose. They're currently in this war against Teutons, Danzig. I don't think they're coming out of this winning. We're going to break that alliance with them. We're going to continue to improve relations with everybody that's very upset with us. But then we're going to go ahead and pursue our claims for Poland, Lithuania to force a personal union on them. No, that's what I'm talking about. Everybody saw as a white peace Austria, and they're like, okay, yeah, you're not really a threat because you basically got your butt whooped while you were allied to Poland. Alright, so I went ahead and converted all of my provinces over here into Bohemia. We can now complete Hussite resurgence, get Prague as a center of reformation for the next 100 years, and we can spread the word of Huss for 20 years, giving us cost of enforcing religion through war. Yes, yes, yes. And Poland did not lose anything against the Teutonic Order, but, well, at least that I could see. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe they pieced out for money or whatever, but they are left in a very bad position, and don't worry. Once they're under my rule, they're going to be in a much better position, I guarantee it. Now, I went ahead and fabricated a claim on Saxony. I'm not going to take any land from Saxony. This war is purely to force them, Hesse, and Nuremberg to go ahead and become Hussite. And our truce with Austria is over. Oh boy. Alright, yeah, I just gotta make sure I continue. Just improve relations with outraged countries for right now. Because again, once we get Poland, a lot more people are gonna be very upset with us. Oh. I mean, sure, yeah, I could become a great power, why not? That just means I automatically humiliate Austria, where we get 100 Diplo power, prestige, and Diplo reputation. And now all of a sudden I got permanent claims on half of Austria. So out of that war, we did force 3 nations to go ahead and become Hussite, Saxony, Nuremberg, and Hesse. So yeah, I'm going to have to start fabricating a claim on somebody like the Palatinate over here, who's allied to 5 different countries, and that would be fantastic. Convert 6 countries, well actually 5 countries, because Nuremberg is now Hussite. But more importantly, right now we're going to be looking at invading Poland, who is 2 military techs behind us. They are of course allied to Denmark. Do I really care about Denmark? No, not really. Man, I will tell you what, having Hungary, even though they're out of manpower, they still field 32,000 troops. Having them under a personal union is amazing, dude. Like, they are such a... Why are you choosing trade ideas, Hungary? Here we go, actually fighting the Polish troops for Warsaw here. Oh my goodness. Oh. Now, hopefully I don't live to regret this, but we're going to force our PU on Poland right now. Our ruler's 45 years old. We're going to get a coalition. That's okay. But we got Poland, Lithuania. We got Poland and Lithuania now. Now I could go ahead and complete another mission, which is this one. We just simply need to own at least 20 provinces within Poland, and it empowers this modifier that we got from this mission here by an additional -5 diplo annexation costs and +50 governing capacity. And now Poland becomes our historical friend, and we get permanent claims on East and West Prussia. And yeah, this is what our coalition's going to be looking like, essentially. I mean, it's really not the worst. I'm going to be recalling this guy back. I do plan on plunging myself into another war here, like right now, against Brandenburg, and forcing 3 more countries to go ahead and become Hussite. Plus, it improves relations with both Poland and Lithuania anytime you're in a war together. So let's go ahead and do this. I'm also feeling a little bit crazy, and we're going to do another one against Munich as well. As long as they don't join a coalition against us. And everybody's favorite country, Ulm, is now going to be Hussite. Welcome. Welcome, Ulm. Okay, so within this war against Munich here, we go ahead, we occupy all of Mainz. I'm going to make them release out Hesse, and this province is occupied by Hussite zealots. So yes, that means that another Hussite nation is going to pop out. And then we're going to force religion on Mainz. So there we go. Now we got 2 more Hussite countries in the HRE. And as for Munich here, we do have 100% on these guys. I guess I could release up Passau, hope that maybe I can come back, invade them, something like that. And yeah, we're going to go ahead and convert Munich again. So another additional nation at this point. Think, what does that put us at in terms of total Hussite nations? We need 2 more. And then I need 10 more provinces owned by me or my subjects that are going to be Hussite. So I need to start maybe thinking about force converting Hungary over here, especially since our center of Reformation is kind of doing that already. And I'm still at war with Brandenburg, but I went ahead, force converted Thuringia over to Hussite. I could do that to Magdeburg. I already did it to Mecklenburg, but apparently I didn't read this correctly, but it's one or the other. So either have 30 provinces owned by yourself that are Hussite, or 10 Hussite countries. Now, this unlocks the rekindle Hussite Wars aspect of faith, basically Deus Vult CB, defenestration of Prague till the end of the game, giving us Diplo Rep and missionary strength versus heretics. So now both of these nations are Hussite, and of course we have the really very strong missionaries at this point. Well, I say very strong, but they're really not. They're 6.5 in terms of strength, but they're going to go ahead and start converting all of our subjects' provinces right now. And finally, Deus Vult CB. There we go. And Burgundy just went under Austria because of course they did. And through another war, this time through the Palatinate, you know, most of Germany is looking pretty Hussite now. And yes, Poland and Lithuania are extremely Hussite. I've just been, basically all my missionaries have been working very hard over here tirelessly. Even the Polish missionaries are helping out as well. And I imagine Lithuania is probably doing something as well. And of course our center of religion, for whatever reason, is so fixated on Poland and nowhere else. It's just on Poland, I guess. I only embraced the Renaissance. I literally was able to go up like numerous techs. And now we can pick up our second idea group, which I'm debating, honestly. Diplo ideas would be fantastic. Or also quality ideas. And personally, I'm actually kind of leaning towards Diplo ideas for right now. Actually, no. We'll just go ahead and do quality ideas. Just start buffing up our military right now. Later on, we'll probably do Diplo ideas. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and force religion on Hungary here. So yes. all 3 of my PU partners are now Hussite. Now here's an interesting one. We're going to go ahead and invade the Venetians. Is it going to call in the Knights? Constance, who... let's see. I could actually call them in. Austria would not join, because they're already at war with the Venetians here. So they're not going to be able to join. Now what about Trent? Oh, dog, we're about to get a lot of people converted here. Okay. Maybe Mantua? And we'll do like somebody like Strasbourg. Oh, perfect. All right, yeah, we'll go ahead and do this. We'll invade them for Spalato. And again, this is just so we could literally convert as many of these little guys as possible. And now my coalition's completely gone. So probably in a little bit, we're going to end up invading the Teutonic Order here. It'll work out perfectly because then I could get both of them and the Livonian Order in a war. Force convert both of them, plus Riga, maybe even Gotland. I can actually land here. I guess that would actually be the issue there. But Riga, Livonian Order, and the Teutons are all part of the HRE. So yeah, I could actually force all 3 of those. Oh, even Gotland is. We're going to get as many of those guys to swap over to Hussite as possible. Alright, I think it's finally time we go ahead and invade the Teutonic Order. Of course, we're going to co-belligerent Livonian Order. We're going to get Riga out of this. Well, we're going to convert Riga. Let's see if we can maybe do Stettin. That's going to call in Lüneburg. Now, if I were to do somebody like Riga... Oh, yeah. Yeah, okay. We'll probably end up... Oh, wait. Muscovy's going to be in this. Ah, when did Muscovy join? When did you become friends with the Teutons? Alright, so we actually cannot make this as big of a war as I originally thought we'd be able to. I mean, I guess I could. It's actually still would not be that bad. Yeah, screw it. We'll just go ahead and do this. Obviously, yes, Denmark, Muscovy, those are the big ones that are going to be in this war. However, I mean, you know, and of course there's a lot of little guys going to be in this war as well, but honestly, I think we should be able to sweep through them pretty fast, especially since I got Poland, Lithuania, and Hungary. And honestly, I'm thinking that they're probably going to focus on Muscovy right away. And I'm not taking any land out of this war. I'm just simply trying to force convert people. Won't be able to do it to the Teutonic Order. That's fine, I guess. But we'll go ahead and force everybody else to become Hussite. Oh, Austria's trying to force peace. Ugh, I kind of have to accept this. Screw you, Austria. Screw you. I mean, at least I forced Stettin to become Hussite out of that. Oh, now this is nice. So we got domination or dominance of the Hussite faith, basically letting us know that yes, Hussite is like one of the largest religions in the entire game now. Also, I finally think it's time we go ahead and integrate Silesia. It's been great having them around. They've been providing at least like 10,000 troops, but I think it's time that they finally go. I'm going to go ahead and start deving up this province and this one right here. They both have a workshop. I just need to dev them up each at least 5 times. Doesn't matter what category, as long as it's just 5 times. And all of a sudden, now I could complete Bohemian Crystal. However, if we own at least 3 provinces that produce glass, both provinces will get their production building upgraded from a workshop to a counting house. And this province will actually gain 2 base production. But it's going to be a little bit before we could even do that, because Munich, I think, as the only other glass province I get a claim on, which, yeah, it's going to be once I get to Ottokar's legacy here. I mean, I guess I could, like, start beating up on Austria here. Get that, get my permanent claims over here. And we're just going to go ahead and complete this. Alright, our truce with the Teutonic Order and all their pals is over. We're going to go ahead and try this again. Same exact war, pretty much. Invading Teutons, hoping to convert Livonian Order, Riga, and all these little trade league guys. I'm going to go straight for them as well too. See if I can't get as many of these guys out of the war as possible. Which I guess is just these 3. I thought it would be more. 5th, government reform. We're going to go with lessons of the Hussite wars. Global defender dice roll bonus +1, so that's great. Obviously we want to get in as many defensive battles as possible. That's absolutely really nice. And now the whole Protestant Reformation thing's happening, so yeah, we gotta kind of get that thing out of here as well. And I mean, I could become Protestant. We're not doing that, Basically, everybody else will, that is Hussite, will be like, oh yeah, the Bohemia, basically the head and center of everything became Protestant. We too shall become Protestant. No, we are staying Hussite. Now, as for the Teutons, I'm just going to give Poland the province that they have a claim on in Culm. I'm going to make them break a ton of alliances with Muscovy, especially, and of course, Denmark, Livonian Order, and Stettin. And we're just going to take all their money. Now, I could go ahead and complete Bohemian industry because I did build those 10 workshops I mentioned earlier. We're going to get 309 ducats from 2 years of production income. We're going to get early industrialization for 15 years, giving us production efficiency and dev cost modifier. And while this modifier is active, increasing the production development of provinces with a production building has a 20% chance of granting an additional production development. I could also go ahead and complete the Golden City. So our capital of Prague just simply needs to have at least 30 development and 3 buildings. The next 3 times we expand infrastructure in Prague, we will grant an additional +1 admin, Diplo, and mill bonus development to Prague, and it gets Golden City till the end of the game, giving us local production efficiency and tax modifier. Now, if this is the most developed province in all of Europe, we also get 200 splendor. It is not even close, I think. Constantinople's 39, 28, no. Yeah, so Constantinople or Rome are the largest provinces right now. So yeah, we're not going to worry about it. So far in terms of Protestant nations, obviously Cologne, center of Reformation right here. And then also Denmark and Norway both converted to Protestant. So hopefully they keep that stuff up there. Oh, would you look at that? I could actually ally the Ottomans. You know what? I think it's time that we go ahead and invade Austria. Landshut would not join because they're getting really beat up right now by particularists. Of course, this is going to call them Burgundy. Very unfortunate that Burgundy is going to be here. But yeah, we're going to beat up on Austria. Take not everything that we have claims on, but we may end up actually releasing a couple nations out of either Austria or Burgundy, just so that way we have access to basically force convert even more nations. Ooh, I do not like this at all. Alright, so Austria, I'm not really going to be taking much. I'm going to be taking like half their money, war reps, stuff like that. Because I'm going to start focusing in on Russia. I'm going to really try and beat these guys up. Would you look at that? France is actually going to be invading Burgundy. France, why couldn't you have done this while I was at war with Austria? Come on, man. So this war really didn't matter anyways, because my subject to Poland actually in that moment actually saved up enough money to just buy Defender of the Faith right out from underneath my nose. So it honestly didn't even matter. Going into the Age of Reformation, we obviously have joined the Reformation because we are Hussite. We have religious ideas. We've converted over 86 provinces, force converted a couple different nations, and we have unified our culture, the West Slavic group, between us, Poland, and Hungary. And really, some of the good ones here are like religious wars, which is going to give us cheaper war score costs versus other religions, institution spread stuff, the prestigious conversions. There's some really good things actually here in the Age of Reformation. Sure, Ottomans, I'll help you beat up on the Russians. Why not? I could go ahead and complete the Vladislav Hall. And that's because I got Prague up to 45 development, built a courthouse here, and I'm gaining at least 10 Diplo a month. Alternatively, you could do this with 60% Crownlands, or if your ruler has really good Diplo and 5, you could complete this. We now get a courthouse or town hall in our capital, and also 1 base production, 1 base tax, and manpower. In building courthouses and town halls now grant -1 local unrest to all provinces. My truce with the Teutonic Order is over. We're going to go ahead and invade these guys. I will go ahead full annex the Teutons. And I will also co-belligerent Brunswick, which will call in Liège, Mecklenburg, and Thuringia. Now, is there anybody else I could maybe co-belligerent? If only Saxonburg would actually join. Third idea group time. We're just going to go ahead and pick up influence ideas because we have all these subjects. All right, I'm going to go ahead full annex the Teutonic Order. Take all their money. And immediately, what I'm gonna do, as this month passes, is we are gonna go ahead declare war on Volgas, which will call on Austria, of course. It's a little bit easier just fighting them, plus Memmingen, etc. We're going to do our cleansing of heresy CB, call on the Papal States to help us out as well. And what I could do now, since I own all the Teutonic Order land, I could do Pomeranian Reconquest, own at least 6 provinces in this area. We are going to gain 20 army tradition and unlocks a decision allowing us to release out Prussia as a vassal in this area, which is fantastic. And of course, we're going to go ahead and release out Prussia. Oh, we landed a personal union with Thuringia. I wasn't even married to these guys. The game literally just gifted them to me. What the heck? I can also apparently complete the mission Lion of the Empire. Essentially, you just have to have the most development in the HRE, have the largest army in the HRE, and it has to be at least 25,000 or larger, and along with 40 prestige, we can complete this, get subjugation CB on both Brandenburg and Saxony for the next 30 years. Now, I'm going to actually hold off on that because RAE is very, very high. And that's because of seizing the stuff over here in the Teutonic Order. So we're going to hold off on that maybe for about 8 years. Okay, so with Austria, we are just going to go ahead and release out a Tyrol actually from them, and then just take as much money as possible. And again, the plan with these guys, try and force them to become Hussite, of course. Now, as for Volgast, who we did deck on for this war, we're just gonna make them return a court back to Mecklenburg, force convert them to Hussite. There we go. And I'm immediately gonna break my alliance with the Pope because that's what I was looking at. All right, we're gonna decline this bad boy. Sorry, Mr. Pope man, but I'm out. Tier 6 government reform, we're going to go with aristocratic court. Now that I've cored up everything over here in the Baltic, we can now release out Prussia. They're an independent state, vassal, and they are going to be Hussite, which is fantastic. And of course, they're going to get Prussian monarchy, all that stuff. It's literally Prussia. And I think right now is actually a good time for me to actually transfer the ownership of Nitra to myself, even though Hungary will be pretty upset, but I'm thinking, yeah, now's a good time. And now I've taken Nitra, I gained Slovak as an accepted culture, get +1 max promote culture until it's demoted, and every province and area gets a 1 random development. I can now complete this mission right here. We just simply had to own Königsberg, make sure it's at least 25 development, and no coastal province bordering the Baltic Sea has more development than Königsberg. And we also have to make sure it's, of course, Hussite with no building slots. The province then gets 3 base production and gets Pearl of the Baltic until the end of the game, giving it a +10 local trade power. And Bohemia gains restored the Amber Road, giving us additional trade power in the Baltic until the end of the game. You know, I just realized that France over here is going completely ham. They got both Savoy and Naples in Italy, so France is really pushing for Italy. And not only that, they also made the Papal States into a 1 province minor in Urbino. All right, I'm thinking it's time we complete Lion of the Empire here. Have an army equal to larger than 25,000. I have 30,000 troops, 40 prestige. No country in the HRE has more development than me, and no country in the HRE has a larger army than me. We're going to go ahead and complete this, get AE impact minus 10% for the next 15 years. And because both Saxony and Brandenburg exist, we actually get subjugation CBs on both of these guys. Now, I'm not even going to try and pronounce this mission right here, but simply we just need to have at least 60 army tradition, which we are at 74 right now. Employ a military advisor with level 2 skill. We have a level 2 discipline guy and win at least 20 battles. We get Wagenburg tactics, tier 5 government reform, morale damage received minus 10%, very nice. And this reform also includes additional 0.1 bonus of army tradition once you actually win a battle in your own territory. So that's not that bad. But the more important issue here is, of course, we are going to go ahead and invade Saxony and subjugate them. Same thing with Brandenburg. We're waiting for our truce with Austria to be over here. who they are getting absolutely demolished by the French because they're trying to invade for Burgundy. And we're going to take advantage of that and subjugate both of these guys. Even though our AE, at least with these two nations, is relatively high, everybody else doesn't necessarily care, but we got to use that modifier that we just got to subjugate these guys right away. Alright, so I went ahead, subjugated Saxony, so they are my vassal. I'm going to do the same thing with Brandenburg. This is going to give me a really big coalition with most countries here in Central Europe. Obviously, if France was going to be involved, I would not do this, but honestly, we'll be okay. I literally have Poland, Lithuania, Hungary, Prussia, Ottomans, Thuringia, Saxony, and now Brandenburg as my subject. Actually, what I need to do here is this. Actually reclaim this as a core for Brandenburg, just so I could go ahead and complete the Electorate of Brandenburg mission. We're going to go ahead and complete this one here. We're going to gain 100 admin. And while Saxony is our subject and an elector, we get the fate of Saxony. So we can either make them into a personal union partner and they gain 20 liberty desire, or keep things the way they are. Yeah, we're going to make Saxony into a PU partner. That makes more sense. Never mind. That makes more sense. So then that way they could actually vote for us if I really wanted to. And also a lot of people won't get the negative modifier for subjugating an elector. I think it's in here. Yeah, the platinum. Well, it doesn't show, but normally they're going to have like a negative modifier. And now that we own pretty much starting out Brandenburg here, we can now complete this, lose 10 AE with all nations in the HRE, and we can do the same thing, actually turning them into a personal union partner or a march, or keeping them as a vassal. Now we do the personal union, same thing happens, won't get any negative modifiers with it, make them into a march. This will also be considered a legitimate subject in the HRE, or this one here. I'm gonna just go ahead again, create a PU with these guys. My truce with Austria is over. Nobody's formed a coalition against me because everybody actually has a pretty good high opinion of me for the most part. So we're gonna go ahead to fight Austria, beat them up, cleansing a heresy, take as much land as we possibly can from these guys. And because I'm going to be doing this war, I can now force convert certain nations like Tyrol, Landshut, who is actually reformed right now, and also 3 leagues, who is just straight up allied to Austria. And Austria only has Burgundy, who's absolutely getting destroyed, and 3 leagues. I'm also, just for the heck of it, actually going to start a war against Muscovy over here. Maybe I could release out like Riga, Livonian Order. That would be nice. I could reforce them to be Hussite again. Alright, so I made peace with Muscovy, did release out the nation of Riga, so they're back. For whatever reason, was not giving me the option to release out a Livonian Order from them. Accidentally took this province, meant to give it to Lithuania here. Now, for Austria, I did improve relations with France over 100, which means they will not join a coalition against me. Everybody else will, though. So there we go, took that. Gonna go ahead and give my boy a Lithuania this province over here because I don't need it. And now I could go ahead and complete Ottokar's legacy, giving us even more permanent claims. Core creation costs for the next 20 years in power projection. Now, if I completed this previous mission here, we actually get a permanent modifier with the additional prestige, Diplo reputation while this is active. Go ahead, core all this stuff up, and also concentrate that development back into our land so it's a little bit cheaper. Next up, we're going to do some forced conversions on both Tyrol and Landshut over here. Oh, that's unfortunate. Ottomans just broke our alliance and announced me as a rival. Now everybody's joining the coalition against me. Okay. I see how it goes, game. I see how it goes. So with our German situation not looking too good here, we're just gonna kind of sit here and chill a little bit. Surprised a nation like Bamberg doesn't care that I literally just took all that. Why do some of these guys have 0 AE like with me? That's just weird. I don't understand it. Oh, because they were just released. That makes sense. Never mind. Never mind. All right, I can finally complete this mission right here. We just need to own these 2 provinces right here. Krakow needs to have been improved at least 3 times in terms of development, have a marketplace, and we need to have at least 20% trade power in the region. We have 23%. I upgraded this to a level 3 center of trade. devved it up a bit, of course, expanded infrastructure. Krakow will now have instead of a marketplace, it'll become a stock exchange and gain development. It also upgrades the center of trade by 1. We also get permanent claims on this area, a couple areas over here. Now, if we completed this while we had at least 30% or more trade in Krakow, we would also have gotten a level 3 trade advisor who's 75% cheaper. Oh, that's kind of cool. Poland just became part of the HRE. So, hello, Poland, my subject. Welcome to the HRE. Oh, we just inherited Poland, who just joined the HRE. Would you look at that? 340. All right, who are we going to elect here? We could get a Bavarian guy, one of our own nobility, or my general. Interesting. Honestly, we'll crown one from our own nobility. I think that sounds cool. So, I mean, yeah, all of a sudden we just kind of hit a bit of a power spike. We're now 761 development. That definitely helps. Let's go ahead and state all this stuff up. I don't know if we're actually going to be able to state all this before going over our gov cap, which we may end up hitting here. Sure enough, we just barely went over our governing capacity. That's actually not that bad. And because I inherited Poland, the Krakow cloth hall actually did not get destroyed here, so I got an additional merchant that I could use. Where do I send him? Honestly, probably just here in Carpathia. And finally, I can complete Reforge Great Moravia. So I have to complete the 3 previous missions, have over 500 development, 90 prestige, 90 legitimacy, and 3 stability. And we could go ahead and form Moravia. This event allows us to go ahead and form them. Our ruler gets 2 mil as well. And until the death of our ruler, we get army tradition from battles and military tactics. Now, if we do this while we've also completed the university mission, which is this one here, which I don't know why you would wait until then, but you get development cost and primary culture. Whatever. We're now going to be a kingdom, new traditions and ambitions. And what are these new traditions and ambitions? Well, let me show you guys, because Great Moravia has some really good ideas. With national manpower plus 25%, goods produced plus 10%, max effect of absolutism, so making them a pretty decent endgame tag, overextension, impact modifier, missionary, a guaranteed +1 admin skill, construction time and dev cost, legitimacy, tolerance to the true faith, and discipline, and an additional +5 max absolutism. There's also a pretty cool little decision that you could do here as well. This province right here just simply needs to have at least 20 development, a marketplace, and a temple, oh, and a workshop. It becomes your capital and also gets renamed until the end of the game, or actually for the next 25 years, it gets local dev costs minus 10%. And it's a pretty good province. You know, it is a grasslands province, but I mean, technically Prague is the better province because it's farmlands. It's also a center of trade. And it's also a cloth province and also has this really good, great project here as well. Also, luckily, thanks to the Ottomans apparently beating down on the Mamluks here, I have exactly half their army strength. I have 5 provinces in the Carpathian region with the highest level fort. Thank you, Hungary, for fronting the bill on that one. And I'm, of course, not a subject nation. We unlock Order of the Dragon local organization, giving us a 25% garrison size and 25% local garrison army damage, which is actually very good to put on all of our forts. We're also getting permanent claims on pretty much the entire Balkans that are owned by the Ottomans. And essentially, we just have to go ahead and kick the Ottomans completely out of the Balkans. Then we get subjugation on every independent nation in the Balkans, which would literally just be Ragusa, so it's kind of pointless. It's just better to go ahead and conquer Ragusa and permanent claims on the rest of the Balkans, which, again, Ottomans own all of it. This is funny. Most of my nations, like my PU partners, are about to be like just introduced into the HRE. So Hungary's already part of the HRE. Lithuania is about to be part of the HRE. So it's yeah, all of my guys, they're all going to be part of HRE. And Burgundy's more than likely going to be the next emperor, which I'm kind of okay with. I'd imagine they're probably going to try and reform into the Netherlands, which will be interesting to see. but they're one of the last few Catholic nations in the game, even though they are Protestant and predominantly Protestant and Reformed. Though they may flip, I feel like. I have a good feeling that they're actually going to flip. But as you guys can see, pretty much most of Central Europe is Hussite. And also, Tuscany apparently became Hussite, and I did not force them to do that at all. That was all on their own free will. Alright, I'm going to start a pretty big war here. Milan would not join this, but we're going to go ahead to fight Austria. We're going to basically force an election to happen here. I want Lüneburg to go ahead and become the new emperor. Austria just kind of needs to go. And maybe in the meantime, we could also force convert a couple of these guys as well. You know, I'm also kind of tempted to go ahead force convert Lüneburg. But I also think that they're probably like the only eligible nation to become the next emperor within the HRE. My worst case scenario would be somebody like France or even Spain becomes the new emperor at HRE. I guess like even Milan, I guess, could become emperor and I'd be okay with it, but I don't know. I really... screw it. We're just gonna do it. We're gonna do it. Who does everybody default to now? Portugal. Siena. I'm the only one voting for Siena. Oh no. They got messed up, guys. Fourth idea group time. I'm thinking we're gonna probably pick up either innovative or offensive ideas. Or even administrative. Ooh, actually, yeah, hold up. We're gonna do administrative ideas because you pair that up with the influence ideas for the integration. Plus that gov cap is gonna be very much needed. Yeah, you know what? Honestly, we're gonna drop admin. We're gonna just go ahead and pick up offensive ideas, even if I drop it a little bit later. But I'm just gonna fill that in for right now with offensive ideas. All right, honestly, even though Austria's like 2 provinces, yeah, I could full annex these guys for like no way. I really don't want Portugal to become the next emperor. I mean, yeah, even Burgundy went Protestant. Oh man, yeah, there's not really anybody. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is we're gonna keep Austria around, even if it's for a little bit. I'm just gonna end their alliances with like everybody pretty much though. Also gonna see if yeah, finally I could threaten war with Milan. Let's go ahead and do that. Get the 1 province I need from these guys. Finally, the Protestant leagues are forming. We're obviously joining the Protestant League. We got to make sure that they win in order for us to become the emperor of the HRE. Oh, that's not good. France. That means that they're probably, yeah, they just joined the Catholics. Oh, dog, come on. You know what? We're going to beat up on France. We're going to get some cores back from my boy Tyrol. And we're going to try and mess these guys up as much as possible. Maybe even returning some provinces to nations like Burgundy or maybe even the Papal States or something, because France needs to be stopped. I will say this war has not been easy, like, at all. France has 5 morale. I'm currently at like 3.93, so my troops, in terms of the morale stuff, not doing too good. Oh man, I gotta choose one for my nobility. He's a 365, dog. Like, he's better than my 344. I got to. Oh, Spain's now the emperor. They were originally on the Protestant side. I wonder how this changes things. Like, does that mean France and Russia and the Ottomans won't be interested in this anymore? Or like, how the heck does this work now? I really need Denmark to win this thing, though. Oh, I guess Denmark just went for it. I don't know why, but okay, yeah, let's do it. France, Spain, Ottomans, and Russia. Oh, man, okay. I'm gonna have my hands full. Nobody joined us. Nobody left their thing. This is just a big war now. A little bit of an update on everything. So me and Hungary, Lithuania pretty much occupied the entirety of the Balkans. Ottomans are losing by almost 20%. Hopefully Denmark gets these guys out of this war. All the other guys are pretty much focusing on the whole French-Spanish side of things, and also Tuscany's getting absolutely demolished by both Milan and also France. Meanwhile, I'm starting to migrate my troops out of the Balkans up into Russia, where there's not really any fighting, surprisingly. Honestly, like, Russia does not care about this war at all. They're more focused on Oirat over here, who they're 1 whole mil tech ahead of, but they're losing in that war. So this is just funny. The Spanish, who are the leader of the Catholic League, just called a crusade against the Ottomans, who are their allies. And oh, and thank goodness, I'm going to be the very first nation in the world to get Miltech 15. It literally just, this is probably what's literally going to allow me to win this freaking war, because my allies are not doing anything at all, dog. It's literally just all me. And this is what Miltech 15 looks like against 14 scrubs. Yeah, get out of here. Oh, well, I just inherited Thuringia. Okay. Cool, cool, cool. My goodness, dog. We're finally up to 14%. And Denmark, this is like perfect timing, because Denmark was literally starting to hit low war enthusiasm. And I'm starting to bring these guys back because Denmark is making gains. Yeah, Denmark, because you're making gains with your 12% war participation, not my 72%. Oh, I knocked the Ottomans down to low war enthusiasm. Come on, Denmark, just peace them out already. Just white peace out the Ottomans. Just get them out of here. Yes, Denmark is out. And in fact, I actually gained a province. And look at that, Bosnia is out of here as well too. Oh man, alright, let's focus on Russia. Let's get Russia out of here now. And this way I can focus everything into Western Europe. And Russia is officially out of the war. You know what that means, ladies and gentlemen. We're about to focus on Western Europe. And guess what? France is low. Once France is out of here, oh man, I freaking hope that Denmark does not peace out of this war. Because Denmark, honestly, you have no reason to, dude. You have no reason to. Even if Spain hits low, like, you better sit and deal with it. France is out. France is out. We're about to win, dude. And I feel like I'm about to get my hopes up, and then they're all going to come crashing down as Spain probably works out like a white peace with Denmark or something. That's like the worst one. I mean, at the very least, like, I could be emperor now. Of course I'm gonna vote for myself, but like, come on, man. All of that for that. All of that. I knew I was just gonna be disappointed. Like, Denmark, come on, man. I literally was carrying you to victory. I mean, at least I got 4 electors back at me with Cologne and obviously my 2 subjects and myself. So at least that. We're gonna get an additional diplomat, 25 improved relations for the next 15 years. And 10 trust with every elector voting for us. And all I have to do now is actually become the emperor. We complete this next mission and actually get permanent claims on every province that's not in that, like, for example, France owns. And we get a permanent claim there to basically kick them out. And I don't understand why this Hussite one's not triggering, because one of the following must be true. Okay, we were not on the winning side. Oh, I just have to be the emperor and have treaty of religious peace. Okay, so I have to be the emperor to complete that one too. Sorry, bit of confusion there on my part. This makes me sad because this site can't become the dominant faith of the HRE. But I mean, we could become the emperor, at least that. Truce with the Ottomans is over, so we are actually going to go ahead and invade them. I don't actually border them at all, so we're just going to do I really want to do a holy war one on these guys. Can I seize like a province from like Hungary or something? You know what? Here's what we're going to do. We're going to invade Bosnia. I'm going to take that province for myself. This way I have a border with the Ottomans. And then I could do the Holy War CB, which allows me to take provinces for a lot cheaper. Plus, you combine that with the Religious Wars one. Yeah, it's going to be really cheap. This war against the Ottomans isn't bad. It's just that they have a lot of troops. You have the better Miltech, I say. Oh man, okay, yeah, like I said, I don't think it's necessarily that bad. It's just there's just so many of them. They literally have almost 300,000 guys. Like I said, so far not bad. We're almost up to 40% war score on these guys. I'd love to see the casualties, but as you guys can see, we actually outnumber them now. Ottomans running low on manpower, coming down to my force limit numbers all of a sudden. Nice easy battle against all of Transoxiana's troops. Their whole Transoceania, their entire army is pretty much right here. In this war, we're going to take about a 78% peace deal. We're going to give Bulgaria all their cores back. It's going to cost us no admin, no diplo whatsoever. And then what I'm going to do now is we're going to go ahead and invade Ragusa. Sure, I guess I could lose a stability, whatever. But this will plunge us into war against the Ottomans again, and I'm going to white peace them out. So you may be asking yourself, Chairman, why do you want to white peace out the Ottomans? Simple. And this is typically something overlooked by a lot of players. When you take a lot of land from somebody, you're going to get somewhere between like a 10 to a 15-year truce. If you just simply white peace them out, you're going to get a 5-year truce, and you'll be able to come back and beat them up a lot sooner, a lot faster. So you'll be able to come back, beat up on the Ottomans a lot sooner and a lot faster. It's the same strategy that I use whenever I play over here in China, and I just constantly beat up on Ming's tributaries and call them in, basically resetting that truce. Or you could do the other way of doing it, which is just constantly stab breaking them after you take the Mandate of Heaven. But that's not important to this. The point being, you could just easily, reset the truce for a 5-year truce. I'm thinking after our next war against the Ottomans here, we're going to start focusing on consolidating our Bavarian claims over here. And that kind of pushes us towards, I believe, like the last of our expansion over here in Western Europe. After that, it's just primarily Eastern Europe, and then just some imperial stuff and building a university, pretty much. Which, speaking of industry, I can now complete this. Just simply have to build 20 manufactories. Your ruler becomes industrious and unlocks a tier 8 government reform, giving you additional production efficiency plus 10%. Truce with the Ottomans is over, so yeah, guess what? We're going right back into fighting these guys with a Holy War CB. Should be even easier now, because they have less troops than last time, and less manpower as well. And in this war with the Ottomans, we're going to get 84% peace deal, taking half of their stuff in the Balkans. They're almost completely kicked out. We're getting there. Oh, I just inherited Brandenburg. Okay. It's kind of surprising me. I was actually able to inherit these guys right now. Oh, finally. Now I'm the Emperor of the HRE. And now I can complete 2 missions. Charles IV's claims just simply have to be the Emperor. Get +1 Diplo for every country in the HRE, and for 20 years +3 Diplo rep. And we also get permanent claims on Luxembourg and basically every province that is in the HRE but is not owned by somebody in the HRE. From here, I have to do perpetual diet enacted. I don't know if I'll actually be able to do that. The issue is when looking at our imperial authority, because we did not win the Protestant war, I wasn't able to make Hussite the official faith of the HRE. So we kind of sort of have heretic issues within the HRE right now. Plus, on top of that, there's the 24 provinces in the HRE that are not part of the HRE. There's only 6 electors. I mean, actually, hold on. Maybe I could actually fix this. Maybe I could bully, like, Stettin into being an elector. Maybe they'll always vote for me, especially because they're on my border here. Let's say, okay, we're actually gaining imperial authority. Now, maybe if I could get those, like, 24 provinces, aka from France over here, back into the HRE, we may actually have a chance over here. We beat them up before. Oh, man, Burgundy's Netherlands. But, I mean, like, we beat them up before. I think we could do it again. The issue now is that they are allied to Russia and Denmark, but the only one that would join would actually be Russia. Spain does not like France. Denmark, they are too much in debt right now. Again, maybe I could get somebody like, ooh, Milan would actually be good. I mean, even Netherlands would be good too. British reconquest of Chester. Oh, over here. And then Denmark, Danish, New Scottish colonial war. Yeah, we're going to ally Netherlands. I feel like they're actually going to be pretty good. I'll also do the same thing with Milan. Just in that way we could get 2 nations that we could use against the French. I could promise some land to them or something. Now the second mission I'm able to complete is Hussite Empire. We've already gone over this. I just had to be the Emperor at this point. Religious peace has been signed. Unfortunately, Hussite's not the official unchangeable faith, but we could complete this. Get Hussite aspect fates, now have a 20% chance of refunding church power. We get all power costs reduced for the next 20 years. I can also complete this university mission here. I have a university in Prague. I'm employing a level 3 admin, diplo, and mill advisor. And this mission will prevent our rulers and heirs from being naive enthusiasts and battling buffoons. So finally, I've whittled the French down to having no manpower. They're at 120,000 troops. So I mean, at this point, yes, we are losing by 45% in this war. However, literally, we're just taking the punches and rolling with it pretty much. I still have 164,000 manpower. Granted, I did slack in recruiting standards, so that definitely helped me out a lot. But still, and the fact that I have Lithuania, Hungary, Prussia, Bulgaria all helping me out. It just kind of goes to show you can win most wars, even if it means taking a few punches to the face. Alright, so now I'm going to be going all in on the French troops, which are trying to push through central Germany right now. Actually, these three guys, well, these three armies right here, pretty much their whole army. And of course, they do have like some little stragglers here and there, but once we pretty much get rid of these three armies, they are done. And I got, like I said, got the manpower, so if that means I just have to constantly slam into their armies, that's exactly what we're going to do until these guys are completely out of manpower, or until these guys have absolutely no troops left. And would you look at that? Everybody's going in. Hopefully stack wipe. Oh, 50,000 French guys gone. They only have 26,000 troops. France is so screwed. Here's an 18 stack just marching over here. We're going right after them. At this point, they're just hiring mercs. This is actually a Scottish mercenary company right here. You know, I may have messed up using that cleansing a heresy CB on these guys, because the type of peace deal I want, I'm more than likely not going to be able to get. I could go ahead and be a little bit petty here, and I don't necessarily have to make peace with France at all, unless they unconditionally surrender to me. They only have 30,000 troops. Obviously, their entire country is completely occupied. I could honestly just sit here, let all these provinces just accumulate devastation, really weaken up France. I'd imagine a nation like Castile, well, Spain, over here would probably also invade them, and they have, you know, 228,000 troops ready to go. Great Britain probably would want their stuff back, I'd imagine. No, actually, they want nothing to do with the mainland. Now, that's interesting. Maybe a country like Netherlands would probably want to beat up on France. Point is, there's options here. There are some countries that would want to invade France. And while we're just kind of sitting here waiting on this war, I will go ahead and invade the Ottomans, because with the full Holy War CB, because I know for a fact we've done it a couple times now where we've been able to really beat up on the Ottomans, and we just straight up outnumber these guys. Alternatively, I guess I could invade them for Constantinople, but we're going to be able to take a lot more provinces if we just do this Holy War CB. So we're going to go ahead and do that, and just let France just kind of suffer a little bit here. And so far, yeah, we have been outnumbered most of even this war against the Ottomans, but both of us on par in terms of mil tech. They're at 19, I'm at 19. They have quality ideas and quantity ideas. I have quality and offensive ideas. I'm almost done with offensive ideas. Once I'm done with those, honestly, I think that they're going to be in a lot of trouble. I have a lot of generals also that are very good at siege. I have a 4-star general, or a 4 siege guy, a 3 siege guy, 2 siege, and one guy with like 1 siege here. All of them knocking these forts down very quickly. And I have a decent amount of cannons, not like the most. Ideally, I should have something like 16 cannons, so when my armies merge up together, they merge to basically fulfill that combat with. But hey, we'll get to that point. But I mean, regardless, right now my armies are working, and they're working very well against the Ottoman troops. Oh, would you look at that? And in fact, Spain did invade France, and France has no allies. I guess I should make peace with France now. They're almost at 20 war exhaustion. I probably should. And maybe Aquileia. There we go. We'll just do those 2 nations. There we go. All that for 3 provinces. Now I can focus everything onto the Ottomans. And apparently I've completed this mission, which is check heavy industry, 300 development, complete the previous mission. No European country has a monthly income larger than me. What is my monthly income? 225. Really? Does no European country have an income higher than me? I guess not. Oh wow, I actually just recently passed up Spain. Okay, yeah, let's complete that. We're gonna get 10 randomly owned provinces with manufacturers receive 1 additional production bonus development, and every province in Bohemia, Moravia, and Erzgebirge areas will receive a workshop of the world until the end of the game, giving us additional 25% local goods produced. If we complete this while having 500 income, we get workshop of the world modifier. Well, it enhances it to where we also get 0.50 local goods produced. So both of those are very nice, but I'll go ahead and complete this now. All right, so it's looking like in this war against the Ottomans, we'll be able to take everything except for Constantinople. Literally, if I take away all the money that'll be taken from them, I still can't take this province. If I take these two away, sure, I can do it, but I'm missing 2 other provinces. So we'll go ahead and do something like this. These provinces are actually not part of the Balkans in EU4. They're part of the Anatolia region, so we're not going to worry about those 2 provinces at all. What I'm going to go ahead and do now is we're just going to kind of chill. Maybe integrate somebody like Hungary at this point. Just kind of an extra HRE member. Don't necessarily need them, but just to make our name look a little bit cooler, I guess. Remember how I said that we really beat up on France? Well, we really beat up on France to even now Britain is invading them. Yeah, and I think France is pretty much done. They had a great run conquering pretty much all of Italy, but and some of Iberia, but it's time. They're done. All right, we can finally pass a reform. There we go. All right, yeah, we'll just go ahead and do this war. We're gonna call on like literally all of our allies. We're gonna do Imperial campaign, take capital of Paris, and yeah, we're just gonna try and kick France completely out of the HRE. We'll call on Milan with the promise of land. We'll see if I actually give them anything though. We'll see how I'm feeling. All right, so this is what our peace deal with France is gonna look like. We're going to release out both Lucca and Siena because both of those provinces are part of the HRE. Same thing with Switzerland. I'm releasing out Lorraine because they do have cores on actually some of these provinces over here, so I'm releasing them out. Going to make them join the HRE, etc. Oh, we just inherited our boy Saxony, so rip Saxony. Cool. So this is what our country's looking like right now. I've begun integrating some of our subjects over in Bavaria as well too, and also Tyrol and basically Austria over here. So yeah, just kind of consolidating down our country and our empire. I recently just got re-elected as being emperor. Got a really good ruler from the election system of 456. Alright, so let's go ahead and invade the Ottomans for literally 1 province, and that's Constantinople, and of course we're going to take it for ourselves. And there we go, let's core this bad boy up. Complete revenge for Nicopolis. We just simply have to own the province of Nikopol. Either me own it directly or my subject. 6 provinces within the Bulgaria, Philaustria areas. Ottomans don't own a province in the Balkans, and I'm not a subject nation. We get subjugation CB on every independent nation with its capital in the Balkan region. And we gain a permanent claim on the Balkans region. I can also complete these last 2 here, liberate the Balkans, own at least 15 provinces in the Balkans. So you would think that these 2 be reversed. It honestly should be these 2. But then we get unite the Balkans CB, over extension modifier minus 20% for the next 10 years. And then we completed this while we have Bulgaria as a subject in the Balkans, so we lose 10 liberty desire with them. On top of that, we have Bohemian Commonwealth. Pretty much complete these, literally all 5 of these missions right here. Then we have to own the province of Prague, Krakow, Berlin, Drozdany, Pest, Vidin, and no provinces in the Balkans are owned by any Muslim country. We now become the Bohemian Commonwealth, just a name change. We get 50 power projection, and the 1 modifier that we got from this mission right here gets enhanced, giving us even more diplo annexation cost reduction, so another minus 15%, 200 gov cap, and an additional additional policy. Well, I just inherited Hungary, so that's pretty nice. My emperor just died, so yeah, we also just passed the 3rd imperial reform. So I'm thinking we will just go ahead and try and get perpetual diet, just to go ahead end off this video getting that and stuff, and I should be able to complete the mission tree easily after that. So finally, the year 1702, we've been able to enact perpetual diet, which then means I can finally complete this. We can either gain additional 20 imperial authority, and until the end of the game we get an additional 10% imperial authority growth modifier, manpower against imperial enemies, which is kind of nice. We also get the unaccepted cult. We get a unique government privilege for our nobility, which negates the unaccepted culture modifier for all of our Germanic provinces, or our ruler gets 3 diplo and excess points get turned into 100 diplo. We're going to go for that top option. And now we're just down to this last one here where we just have to have the largest army in all of Europe, which honestly does not seem that hard. I mean, I do have to build like an extra like 100,000 troops or so. I'll just deal with the Spanish. So let's go ahead and take out a bunch of loans, and we're just going to spam a bunch of units out, and then there we go. That should be the end of this mission tree. And there you go. We literally just spammed out a bunch of troops that just simply surpassed Spain. You know, it doesn't matter force limit wise, it's about your total amount of troops. We have more troops than the Spanish. And I'm going to go ahead and complete this peace in Europe. We're going to gain 10 absolutism, and until the end of the game, we get -5 years of separatism, a +1 monarch diplo skill, and if we complete this while we have the largest army and most development in the world, we get Bohemian hegemony until we lose any war, giving the following effects: -10 cooldown years for our changed national focus, and +10% max effect of absolutism. And like that, we have completed the entire Bohemian mission tree. Overall, not a bad mission tree. Obviously, there's some things that we could have done better, like the Protestant League War, maybe being a little bit stronger, really pushing against the Catholics, especially when we had all of our personal union partners to help us out a lot in that war. I just kind of got unlucky, so I wasn't able to make Hussite the official religion of the HRE. But overall, Bohemia and Great Moravia, very fun nations. The fact that you can establish numerous personal unions over nations like Hungary, Poland, Lithuania, establishing the nation of Prussia, which of course has really good ideas, getting personal unions or vassalage over Brandenburg, Saxony, and even getting permanent claims on the entirety of Balkans and literally all of Austria's land over there. Very good. And of course their ideas, and that's not to mention that, I mean, even just simply if you stay as Bohemia, their ideas are very great. In fact, I think they're actually a little bit better if you plan on staying as the emperor of the HRE. In my case, we did go with Great Moravian ideas, you know, just because I feel like they are a little bit better for the late game with all the effects of like the absolutism, obviously the additional discipline, the overextension impact modifier. Some of these other things are just very nice within their ideas as well too. But overall, both of them very, very nice ideas, very good mission tree. And with all that being said, I will see you guys in the next one. Airman out.